In urban gardening, you have every possible thing available. The one thing that none of us have, that is the space, and the space crunch is something that we are all feeling. And it so happened that last time when I was growing seedlings, I had a lot of seedlings left, and there was no space, no place to sow them in. And that's when I started looking around the house and see if there's some space that could be utilized. And that's how when I came to this alley and I found that there's no space, everything is full of concrete. But on the right hand side, there's this one garden bed. So I took this as an opportunity and I said, let's experiment with this place and let's see if I can turn this around and I can make it usable so that I can put some plants over there. So today we are going to talk about how I made use of some corners of my house which was not utilized previously. The soil was not good. It was not fertile at all. It looked dry. It just couldn't grow anything at the first look. So given that I live in a very small house and I have very limited space, I decided that I should do an experiment. And what we are going to talk about is this experiment where, using the kitchen waste, which usually goes to my compost bin, I started doing some lazy composting. Let the nature take over. So now let's talk about nature taking over part of what I just said. So if you go to see what is compost, compost is basically all the organic materials, whether it's fresh leaves or dried leaves or twigs. They just fall from the tree, and the nature slowly starts breaking it down, and ultimately it becomes compost. And thus the soil becomes very nutritious and very rich and fertile. Now, for a person like me who is working and gardening is my hobby, so I said, hey, let's do what nature does the best. They take over, they make compost, they decompose everything, they break down all the organic material, and that's exactly what we did. So let's go on a tour. I'll show you exactly how the land was and how it is today, and everything in between, what I did and how I did it, and I'll explain process by process. Let's go. Okay, so as you see, this is one alley that I got, which had, you can see barely anything is there. But I found this one patch over here that has some soil, and I could see that there was something that could be grown. And I think that was the initial intent, whoever built this, but it was never followed upon. If you look at this, it even has the irrigation line already put up over here. So the sprinklers are there, but look at the soil. You can barely crack it through, even though I have watered this a couple of times. So basically this is how it was all the way from that corner till that corner, and now this is how it is today. So you can see the same place has been transformed completely. Now the small plants are growing up, there is a water retention, and also I'm getting very good results, and I'm very positive about it. And if I show you how I did it, this is the trick: throwing and burying my kitchen waste, putting all the organic material into a pit and then covering it up, and over a period of time it breaks down and gives us a beautiful rich soil. So the first and foremost what I did was I actually dug up a hole, so basically made a pit about, I would say, 3 to 4 feet long, and I started putting all the kitchen scrap over here. So every day, whatever kitchen scrap were there, we were just putting it over here, and within I would say 7 to 10 days it was about half full, and then I covered it up with the soil which I had actually dug out originally. So then that gave a very nice fluffy bed, and I planted some onions over here and some garlic just to see how it goes. And right next to this newly made bed, I dug up another pit for 3-4 feet and then started putting scraps over there. And it became a kind of a routine that every week, 10 days, that it'll get half filled, I'll cover it up and then dig up the pit next to that, and so on and so forth. And so far, it's been about month and a half, and I see that I have already made a nice bed for about 10 feet long. This is the latest pit we have, where we have been putting our kitchen scrap for last week or 10 days. So I think it should be ready to be filled up. Maybe we'll do it tomorrow. And this is the latest bed, which is just been covered up a week ago. And I have planted some mint, I have planted some lettuce, I have planted some garlic, and onion. And this part is from here till here. This is the second week, and this was the first week, this part. So when we made the garden bed, you'll see the soil was covering all the way till the edge over here. But if you see now, it has gone down. So it has gone down about, I would say, 2 to 3 inches down. So the reason is now the soil is settling. And how it's settling, that means that trash that we had put, the kitchen scraps that we had put, they are breaking down. And as it breaks down, it shrinks, and the whole thing settles down. So even this part of the bed which we have done last week, which is still right at the top, if we see a couple of weeks down the line, it would have settled too, and that means that our breaking down of our organic matter, that has already started, and it's working pretty well. So that was my experiment with kitchen waste and using lazy composting and converting a completely useless piece of land, a piece of garden bed, which everybody thought they cannot be turned around, and I actually did some good job on it. So I'll be doing a follow-up video maybe a couple of months down the line, where I would show you how exactly the entire stretch has been transformed into a usable garden bed. So it'll be nice to see that some of you actually get inspired, take some interest, and turn around some unusable corner of your house, and turn them around into a good fertile garden bed and grow something over there. That'll be really nice. Let me know what do you think about this method, and if you tried your hand at it, and if you got some positive result. Definitely I'll be curious to know that. And with that, thank you so much for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe the channel.